gonna film the intro and outro in the same clip here, so that's why it looks the same in the beginning and the end of the video if you make it that far. But this... So last week we uploaded some things about the Land Cruiser. So last week we mucked around on the Land Cruiser and got pretty far on that with the desmog process. Didn't get all the way done with it. Later in this video there will be a small little clip of that. I got it running. Rough, but I got it running, so there will be a clip in that. So there will be a clip of that after... So there will be a clip of that halfway. So later on in the video there will be a clip of that. But that being said, I got to get into the exhaust and intake. Got to get that cleaned up, so the motor's pretty much done. I've got one thing left to do on this, and that's the... there's a freeze plug on the other side that was weeping, and it needs to be fixed. And then the engine bay. Now, I have a freeze plug on this that's weeping that needs to be replaced, and then the engine bay. I need to tackle the engine bay. So, on the engine bay, we got a lot of work to do. It's very grimy and greasy, just like this was. And okay, so last week we worked on the Land Cruiser. This week we're back on old Sally. We do a little bit of engine work, nothing crazy. We just do intake and exhaust, and mainly engine bay. But before we get too far into that, I want to say thank you to those, it's probably loud, who bought stickers last week. That right there. Still available if you want one. It's got bulletin41.com. In case you're curious, the link will be below and probably up on the screen. I don't know which side. I think this side, maybe. I don't know. It'll be on the corner, top corner. And you're more than welcome, still available to go get those. Keep in mind, with this rebuild, we're on a time crunch here. Yeah, I could do it right, strip it all the way down, clean it all the way down to bare metal, all the way around, take steering components off and stuff like that. I just don't have time for that. And quite frankly, the money or the patience. So we're just power washing it, cleaning it, and we're going to get some paint over it. Engine bay paint will probably be next week. This week turned into a lot of patching. We had one of the vents was pretty bad, so we did some work there. And again, we're not doing the patching correctly. Most of it's hidden, and all it's got to do is keep the air vents clean, like the fresh air vents clean. So rivets, RTV, and rattle cans. That's kind of the mantra of this engine bay refresh. And then once it's refreshed, we'll slap this in and then hopefully load the car onto a trailer and get it down to Ajo, Arizona, where we pulled it out of the desert from for a car show that's coming up here. I think I got 3 weeks to do this, which is not too bad, but I only get 2 or 3 days a week to work on it, and that's not full days, so we're on track for that. Plus I got to get it cleaned up, and I want to do another coating of that shine juice to make it look good before the show. Alrighty, got the intake here and exhaust. As you can see, that's not cleaned up at all, and this one now is... The lighting's kind of bad because overcast, but this is all cleaned up. I'm going to hit ports with tape, clean that up later, but hit this ports with tape and then get a coat of paint on this. But I do need to go to the store to get a new wire wheel because, well, I've used this one down as far as it could go. Taped up, and we're going to hit it with some Alumablast and maybe make it look good. I don't know if this is going to be too bright and too contrasting. We may have to go over it with something a little bit darker, but this might make it look like an aluminum intake, so, you know, if it looks like aluminum, that means it's lightweight. Oh yeah, that's bright. I don't know how I feel about this yet, but we'll see. Okay, back. This is the intake. I don't know how to feel about the aluminum yet. It's a little bright, but we'll see. I gotta put this little vacuum port back in here. The exhaust manifold is cleaned up-ish, kind of, sort of, best it's gonna get. I don't know if I can delete this little flap. Oh, well, you can't see it, but there's a little flap in there. I thought about doing it, but then I'm gonna have to have plugs, so I'm not Just gonna keep it there. It seems to be working fine without that being, or seems to be working fine with it there. So we're gonna leave it. We're gonna hit this. Now, I kind of forgot that that matches to this or mates to this, but we're gonna hit this with just a black flame-proof header paint. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. This may be getting a darker coat too, so we'll see. Am I making a mess or am I chipping? Oh, I'm chipping paint. That's cool. I'll touch that up real quick, but I don't know how to feel about the mix yet, especially because the motor is all black and dark cast metal gray. So we'll see how it looks. Also, I brought this, the water neck, because it's snap blade. I don't have it up here right now. I brought it to the auto parts store to see if they had something. Early small blocks look like they fit the bolt pattern and the placement. I don't know about the thermostat, if it fits in the housing or not. They didn't have a straight up and down one either, so they were all at an angle and it's not gonna work with the hoses. So I'll order a new one online, hopefully with the correct outlet size this time. So we'll see what we can do. All right, there's the intake and exhaust painted up. The exhaust paint's kind of weird, it's flat. Anyways, but it'll do the job. It looks good. This may be an issue right in here because this is 250 degrees paint. So we may see some bubbling in here, and if that's the case, then we'll address that. But I like the way it looks so far. It may be a little bit too light for on the motor, but we'll see. In between coats of paint waiting for them to dry, I came down here and I've been mucking around with this. Got the carburetor on and got the adapter on, which, by the way, it doesn't work with that for some reason, doesn't fit. So we may need a different stock style airbox, which is no big deal. But got the fuel line hooked up here and ran. I don't know if this is right, but I was just testing things, so I plugged that up. Mind you, none of these are connected, including this. This is pretty important. I think this is the VCV valve. Excuse me if my acronym's not right. It's an important valve that you need to do things with, including this, whatever this line is. I don't know where that line goes, but it's connected, and none of these other ports are connected. None of these electrical wires are actually, well, connected. So keep that in mind. All I've got connected right now is the vacuum advance, which goes to there, whatever this thing is, to that. This all distributor stuff, stock distributor stuff. Haven't even swapped over yet. But I was just trying to test proof of concept. That's not even plugged correctly. It's just in there, not tightened at all, finger tight. So, but you come over here, keeping all that in mind. I don't know what tools in the back pocket here. So, keeping that all in mind with all those leaks, grab the keys. Got a door buzzer. And whatever that noise is, she starts up. She doesn't sound half bad. She doesn't sound good. Very sputtery and leaky, but she's running. The belts are all there. The carb's working. It's getting fuel. Things are working, so that's good. So if you're interested in this, check out last week's video. And then a few weeks ago, I got this one running after sitting for 5 years, and now we're desmogging it. But anyways, back to the 49.
Stay away from that old Viper man. Don't you take that fruit he's holding in his hand. Just one bite and you'll be swinging with the band. If you hang around that old Viper man, if you should come across a Viper in the night.
First Passover done. Looks better for sure. Not clean though, so a little bit more. After that first spray down, I got another coat of the oven degreaser on there, oven cleaner, whatever you want to call it, so you can see it all over. I don't know how much it's going to actually do. I'm probably going to have to get in there with a wire wheel and such, but we'll see what else we can get off with the power washer. We're going to try to get as much of it off as we can with the power washer, and then from there I'll pull this and that vent off, the battery tray out, so we can clean those up and paint them separately. I got to patch that vent up there, so we'll get to it, I guess.
If you hang around that old Viper man and let temptation lead you by your lily hand, right to the dance when you cut it with that old Viper man.
I kind of forgot I was supposed to be filming this, but so this is the vent out of the driver's side here. If you look, it goes in there like that, kind of. It's got a big hole in it, so I'm gonna chop along those lines. As you can see, I already started, and then I'm gonna take a piece of some sheet metal I have over here. I'm just gonna bend it over, rivet it in with some RTV, and call it a day. Because it's underneath, I'm not too worried about it. So that's what we're doing here. My GoPro's dead, or I would film this.
Stay away from that old Viper man. Don't you take that fruit he's holding in his hand. Just one bite and you'll be swinging with the band. If you hang around that old Viper man, if you should come across it with your in
I curved it the wrong way, so that's cool.
when you get the hit that makes you feel alright. You'll be high and trouble's out of sight. So don't you hang around that Viper man.
I like that. Oh, RTV will seal it nicely.
You take one hit and you'll be swinging with the band when you hang around that old Viper man. If you hang around that old Viper man and let temptation lead you by your lily hand, you move in your body and dance when you feel that old
That's gone. That slot right there. And I will rivet it all the way around, paint it up, never to be the wiser.
when you hang around that old Viper man.
I'm gonna go hit this with some just quick engine paint around the edges so when I seal it, it's good. And while this is drying, I will start on the other piece. Well, as you can see, I hit the outside of this with some black paint just to keep it from rusting when I put the patch on. I also hit all this with rust stop. All this shiny stuff is rust stop, and I fogged the inside of it down with rust stop too, just to help. I just went in there and gassed the entire inside the best I could and hit all the hard spots that I couldn't get a wire wheel to hopefully, you know, slow down the rust a bit. But let this dry. I also got the patch. This is the bottom side of the patch painted up so it doesn't rust underneath it. And while we're waiting for that stuff to dry, we'll come over here and we will wire wheel this up so I can get a coat of primer on this. This is the other side. This is the driver side. So get it cleaned up and get a coat of primer on it so we can start painting things to make it look a little bit better than what it looks now. So we'll be back to you once this is cleaned up and the other bits are dry so we can start getting coats of paint on everything. Okay, I got some orange gloves so now you can actually see where my hands are, you know. Might make it easier to watch. So we're just gonna lay a bead of this. This is high temp stuff, but it'll do the same job. We're gonna lay a bead of this around where this is gonna go. So it seals. Now, let's I've completely messed with it over here, but that's okay. So we're gonna just get that in there. Get these to hold it in place. now, take this bad boy and we're just gonna top rivet that. That's one.
Stay away from that old viper man.
That's
Don't you take that fruit he's holding in
perfect.
his
Now I will go get
hand.
a rag and wipe up that.
Just one by the swinging with that old viper man. You take one hit and you'll be swinging with it.
Look at that.
When you hang around that old viper man.
She's good. Good patch. And then you can see the inside there a little bit. Alright, so I've got some rivets here. 1, 2, 3, and probably one that I can't reach, which is great. Not ideal, but I'm going to try to get these off so I can get this piece off of here. So then I can assess how I'm going to fix this, because this is pretty bad. It's probably not going to be done the right way, but I also have some here, I'm assuming. Yeah, one there, and maybe another one in here. Oh, there, and there, and there, and there, which those ones are going to have to be drilled out. But let's just start by getting these ones off. There we go. Thinking maybe I just chop it clean here down. So then I can do exactly what I did with the other piece and make a panel. Goes here and here, rivet it into the top of this so this is sealed, and then rivet it back into this. Yeah, I like that. That opened all this up, and see all this gunk in here. That was causing us some issue. But that hole is the issue, so I think I'm going to patch that from up here. I'll just do exactly what I did with the other panel. Cut, square out, form a piece in, rivet it in with some RTV, and it should do the job. And I'll spray that all with rust killer, so rust stop, I should say. Slow that down, clean it up with the wire wheel, and should look pretty good. Now, that being said, this part, I could try to get rid of as much of this old crap as I can, and then just plate to the top of this. So I get rid of as much of this cancer as I can, and then plate to the top of this with some rivets. It's all pretty gnarly, but should be fine. And then so I can make a plate that comes up here, but extends that way. So I'll just have to get some more plate tomorrow, and I should be able to make that work. Just got to take some measurements to see how long I'm going to need it total. But I like it. Should do the job for now. I'll vacuum this all up. I might even come through here with a power washer real quick. No, I'll vacuum this up and I'll cut that out, and then work on that patch today because I have material that I can do that with. So come back to that. Okay, got that cut out. Yeah, it's a little rough, but it's hard to get an angle grinder in this little corner. So, but it's out. I'll cut a piece to match it. There it is. Cut a piece to match it, and then patch it, and then I'll hit it with some undercoating from down here so it doesn't rust, and I think it'll work nicely. Here's the piece that came out. that just means all that dirt and stuff flicking off the tire and road grime and stuff is all getting up in there, which is getting into my vents. So when I have the fresh air vents on, it's sucking it through the vents into the cab. So it needed to be patched. Is this the best way to patch it? Probably not. I could have probably thrown some tape down and patched it and called it a day, but you know, this will do. Okay. So you can see I'm losing light here, but I got that box out. I wire wheeled it up a little bit, as you saw. I'm gonna hit it with some rust stop just to, you know, eliminate whatever, and then wait for that to dry, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. I may not do the same thing I did to that vent. I may not show you just because, well, light situation, and I can't move this without a motor. So we're getting there, and I'll pick it up probably with my phone to show you the end result. But okay, got that patch in, as you can see there. Just do a quick coat of paint on it. It's a little heavy, that's why it's running, but that's no big deal. I'll let that flash and then hit it with another coat. But hopefully the whole engine bay looks like that eventually. Well, hopefully. I don't know if it's gonna be this video or next video, we'll see. I gotta do some scrubbing and some cleaning. And we'll come over here. So over here I've got the vents drying. See there, you can see the patch on that one. I hit them with some fillable primer, sandable primer. See, so I can sand these down, at least make these look good, which they're pretty good, but a little bit of sanding will make them look real good. I'll hit them with some sanding, and then I'll hit them with some semi-gloss black, and should look really nice. I don't know why, just figured they were rust. They were pretty rough, and I already patched it, so might as well make them look good. Got that sanded down. I'm not gonna go crazy with it and make it, you know, glossy, but that smoothed out some of it. It's not gonna be as horrific as it was, so we'll accept it. Hit this with some black paint after I get this one sanded up. I'll see you after I get them painted. It's the next day here, and I got the vents here. Granted, I painted this in the pitch black with a headlamp on, so they're not the best, but they look decent. So here's the other one in here. There's the other one. I don't think they look half bad. Look better than they did, that's for sure. Yeah, I gotta get some scratches or sap or something here, so maybe I'll sand those down a little bit, just some 220 or something. There's another one there. And just recoat the top, but I think they look pretty good. Okay, so all the vents are painted up. Next week we'll get in there and we will fabricate that front part of the vent that needs to be redone after we patched the inside of it. So we'll fabricate that up next week. I might have some flat sheet metal out there. It may be thick, but that's okay. Need to get that in, and then we also need to get the battery tray in next week and then start painting the actual engine bay, cleaning up. We'll Scotch Brite up the engine bay and lay down some semi-gloss black, same stuff that's on here, so it'll look decent, at least from, you know, one eye closed, the other one squinted. On a Tuesday, it might look good. We'll see. But thanks for watching, and again, if you're interested in stickers, go ahead and go pick one of those up down below. Hopefully by next week we'll have a secondary design up for stickers. Problem is we've been moving, and my artist is my girlfriend, and we're moving together, so she hasn't had time to finish that up. We're real close. We just need to figure out some of the text on it, and those will be up for sale, and I'll get those ordered probably, hopefully early this week. Today's Saturday, so hopefully by Monday I'll have them en route. I'll get them up by next week's video. So check in next week for that, and we'll see you later.